Well, I put on my brand new Christmas sweater to show off. He's even got a little jingle bell. And I just realized I'm invisible. Good job, me. Great job. Now I've got Santy, and that's better because you can actually see me. What's shakin' bacons? I am feeling very Christmassy. I do personally celebrate Christmas. Today I wanted to share a story with you about why I no longer get real Christmas trees. I will never ever again buy a real Christmas tree. Before I get into it, first of all, a huge thank you to Ruby Gonzalez. Thank you so much for sending me such a lovely letter. It meant a lot, and it actually kind of inspired me to get up early today and take some time to do some more filming and start working on editing some more videos. I found it really, really encouraging, and I wanted you to know that I really appreciated it, and I thought it was just a wonderful, wonderful thing to receive and read in the mail. So thank you so much for sending me a letter and for your support. I really do appreciate it. And thank you as well to all of the supporters on Patreon. If you feel like supporting the channel, please feel free to check me out on Patreon. Link is in the description box below. Even just $1 a month goes a long way, and you get access to things that I don't share just on YouTube or on other social media, including behind the scenes and my rough notes, my actual movie rating scale, and things like that. So don't forget to check that out. And of course, do the subscribe and like thing if you like my content and you want to see more of it. So without further ado, I'm going to tell you guys why I don't buy real Christmas trees anymore. I celebrate Christmas. I love this time of year. I am one of those people that as soon as it's the day after Thanksgiving, I just decorate everything. I absolutely love the spirit of Christmas. I love the traditional Christmas. Like, I love eggnog. I love trees. I put a star up on the top of my tree. I have like 50 million stockings, which doesn't make sense because there's only me and my husband and the 2 cats, but I own like, how many stockings do I own? I own 9 or 10 stockings. Anyway, the point being, I just really, really love everything about this season. So when we first started dating, my husband insisted that we get real trees. My family is not a real tree kind of family. It's just such a pain for my family and what I view personally, because you have to vacuum up pine needles, and if anybody has allergies, it's just like a nightmare having a real tree in the house. And then of course you have to water it daily, and if you have pets, the dogs try and pee on it, or the cats try and climb it and try and drink out of the water, which is bad for them and it can really hurt them. So real trees are just a huge pain in my personal opinion. But I wanted to support my husband, and he started really getting into Christmas too. He never really cared about it much before we met, and now he's like full on. He went from Grinch to Santa Claus. It's fantastic. But I wanted to support him, and he really, really likes real trees. So last year, we had just moved to a different town, and we were like, well, there's a tree farm down the road. We'll go and get our real tree the day after Thanksgiving. We go off all happy, like, oh my God, we need a tree, it's Christmas, oh, exciting. So we get to this place, and they've got all of their trees set up beautifully in their lot, and it's like this, I don't want to call it hipstery, because it's not really hipstery. It's like one of those places that's like the farmer's sister, right? So it's like, oh, come here and make wreaths and paint signs and put together bouquets and get your poinsettias and that kind of thing. I would have thought that it would be a good place to get a tree. We go around, we pick out a tree. I don't even remember what kind of tree it was. We pulled off the lot, and the guy put it into this shaky thing, which I always thought was just to shake off extra pine needles, right? For those of you that already know where I'm probably going with this, you know that shaking it is not just supposed to be for getting rid of extra pine needles. I'm not gonna skip ahead here. We bring the tree home, put it up inside. I've got the tree stand, you know, it's like a good 15 minutes. Does anybody else, when you get a tree, if you've ever put up a real tree, I'd say like half of the time spent putting up a real tree, it's like a solid 15 to 30 minutes of you just swearing violently at the tree, and then the person who's helping you put up the tree is like,
it's not even, it's just not, a little more to the left.
You're getting spiked in the face with pine needles, and you're just like swearing at each other, and you're swearing at the tree. It's just like, it's not, viva la fake trees. We wrestle the tree into position. We put the star on the top of the tree, and it's like a little hollow gold glittery star. So we just put the star on the top of the tree and grab the lights, and we start winding the lights. And basically what I do, because I am not good with, I'm not handy at all, My job is to hold the lights, and then I follow my husband in circles around the tree while he actually puts the lights on, because I am useless at anything involving using my hands to build things. I'm absolutely terrible. So I'm like following around the tree with the lights going, we're decorating the tree. We'd maybe done like 3 rotations, and my husband stops and he looks at the tree and he was like,
what is that?
I hadn't been paying attention. I was just trying not to trip over my own feet because I'm super clumsy. So I was like, what? What's wrong? What's what? And he looked up and there were silver strands appearing in the hollows of the star. And he was like,
what the hell is that?
I don't know. We just put it up there.
As we watched, these silver strands started appearing on the branches of the tree, like on the needles. My husband reaches out and he grabs some of them, and oh my God, it pulled off, and it was spider webs, and it was moving. And he went, they're spiders. And I went,
what?
Tree was moving, literally moving. I'm not exaggerating this. The entire thing, like once you look, you know how when you look closely at something, you start seeing like all of the entire tree was moving with spiders, moving with it. And as we watched, from the point of time we put the star on the top to like the 3rd rotation around with the lights, which was probably maybe 3 to 5 minutes, there were so many spiders that it had filled the star at the top of the tree with cobwebs, and cobwebs were appearing as we freaking watched on the edges of the branches, and the tree was moving. And I was just staying there in shock holding the lights, and my husband was just reaching up and like plucking cobwebs and spiders off of the tree, just like,
huh, would you look at that?
He looked up and he was like, well, I think if we put it outside they'll all die. Kim? And I was on the other side of the house. I was like, I had just dropped everything I was holding, and I was on the other side of the house because I do not like spiders. And I'm not kidding you, this tree from top to bottom. Think for a second about how many spiders that is, that cobwebs were appearing as we watched, and the thing was moving, and I was on the other side of the house, and I was like,
get out of my house. Get out.
And he was like, why? And I was like, it's a spider. It's full of spiders. What are you talking about? Why? We don't know what kind of spiders they are. They could be poisonous. They could be like, they could kill the cats. They could kill us. And he was like, it's not that bad. Then he turned and looked, and I looked. So the tree was just about touching the ceiling, and we saw movement on the ceiling, and we looked up, and there were spiders blossoming across the ceiling from this tree. And I was like, he was like,
holy shit.
And he was like, what do I do with it? I was like, just
get it out of the house.
He grabbed it. I wasn't going near it. I was like, fuck that tree. And he just like hucked it back in the woods. And I had a vacuum. I was vacuuming the ceiling. I was vacuuming the couch. I was vacuuming the floor. And I don't know why it had never occurred to me, but if you buy a real tree, it's been outside. Like that shit was growing on a tree lot. It was outdoors. And there can be bugs on there. And when they shake the trees, when you buy a real tree, like they had actually shaken the tree when we purchased it. It's supposed to be to shake off the bugs and the spider nests and eggs and all that stuff. But guess what? Apparently it didn't work, and we had grabbed a tree that was infested. It was the freaking spider apocalypse. My husband was like,
oh, we'll just go back and we'll get another real tree.
no fucking way. I am not going back. I am never getting a real tree again. Never, ever, ever. Never again. I mean, out of all the years on this planet, I have never in my life seen anything like it. It was like, you know that meme where the guy, like, it's not even a meme. It was like a viral video where the guy has a broom and he was like poking, he like smashes a spider and it just, all of a sudden they're just everywhere. It was that times like 500 over the entirety of a Christmas tree. And then up into my ceiling. It was it's gotta be one of like the worst memories that I have in my life, is just watching the spider apocalypse unfold in front of me as I stood next to it. And I was like, we are never getting another real tree. I'm done. Absolutely never again. I went on Craigslist and somebody had a Martha Stewart Christmas tree listed for $50. So we drove out to this very wealthy subdivision, and the guy brought out this like beautiful Martha Stewart Christmas tree with berries and pine cones and fake snow. And he was like, yeah, I'll give it to you for $50. And I looked it up later, and I think the tree was worth like over $250 or something. And he was like, yeah, my wife doesn't want it anymore. And I was like, thank you, rich man. That's what we have now. We spent $50 after the spider apocalypse, and we got a fake tree. And I buy on the winter sale at Bath & Body Works a bunch of the fresh balsam candles, and I burn those, and it smells like a real tree, and it looks like a real tree, and there's no spiders. So that's my story for you guys. That is why I will never, ever, ever get a real tree again. Ever. Just not gonna happen. Have you guys ever experienced anything like that? Like, or even heard about it? I had never even heard of that happening. It was quite a thing. I hope you're all doing amazingly and you're enjoying the season. Regardless of whether or not you celebrate Christmas, I think this season, just a general festivity that's all around, is very fun in and of itself. I hope you are all doing wonderfully, and I will catch you later.